Good evening. I would like to thank everyone for coming tonight and showing support throughout the year for the student athletes at Anderson High School. For those of you who have not met me, I am Coach Justin Hiller. I currently serve Anderson High School as the assistant cross-country coach and the head women's soccer coach. Tonight, I would like to inform you about athletics after high school, particularly at the university level. I know some of our current athletes may not desire to partake in athletic activities while working towards their degrees. But for those athletes that do want to continue their athletic careers, it is important that they, and you, their parents, are aware of a few facts concerning university-level athletes, scholarships, and a brief overview of the revenue brought in by university athletics. First, I would like to discuss the differences between the National Collegiate Athletic Association, better known as the NCAA, divisions of the NCAA, and how this may affect the university that your son or daughter will choose when deciding on a program in which they would like to participate. As many of you are aware, the NCAA is comprised of 3 divisions. What may come as a surprise to you, other than the sheer size of the universities themselves, is the numerous differences between the 3 divisions that are quite significant when taking into account the considerations of a student athlete. According to the NCAA, the population size of the individual university is not a direct criterion when requesting admission to one of the 3 divisions. Although it is not a direct criterion, the population of a university usually dictates the number of athletic programs offered to student athletes, which will, in turn, determine the division that the school may qualify to join. Currently, the NCAA requires Division I universities to sponsor a minimum of 7 sports for men and 7 for women, or 6 for men and 8 for women, with 2 team sports for each gender. Division II universities have slightly similar restrictions placed upon them, with a minimum of 5 sports for men and 5 for women, or 4 for men and 6 for women. Division III universities are required to maintain 5 sports for men and 5 for women athletes. I would also like to mention that the NCAA also mandates that each division be held to a minimum number of contests and participants in each sport. The restrictions become less stringent from Division I to Division II to Division III. The second point I would like to discuss is the important topic of scholarships. Many of our athletes have shown great skill on and off the field and in their academic courses. Some of our athletes may receive athletic scholarships that cover part, portions, or all of their university expenses. For universities that are NCAA Division I schools, athletic scholarships have stricter regulations, must meet the minimum financial aid level while staying within the confines of the maximum allowable award. These amounts may vary based upon the tuition rates of the university and other expenses that may be incurred on an individual basis due to the varying needs of individual students. One thing that stands out about the scholarships that Division I schools are able to offer is that Division I universities have the option to offer student athletics scholarships that span multiple years. Will have an option to continue to cover expenses in the unlikely event of a major injury, and will not be affected by a change in coaching staff. Multi-year scholarships are starting to become harder to receive, as universities do not want to lose funds on an athlete that cannot perform for any reason, or performs at a subpar level. Student athletes attending Division II universities utilize grants, student loans, monies earned through employment, and scholarships in combination to pay their expenses. Also, you should be aware that Division II schools are only able to offer athletic scholarships on a 1-year basis, but can be awarded over multiple years. For those athletes who choose to attend a Division III university, scholarships related to athletic ability are not allowed and therefore are not awarded. This is done to ensure that the student-athlete's experience is the priority through maximizing the number and variety of athletic opportunities. Academic scholarships are still available for excellence in academic course area. There are also the standard sources of funding, such as student loans, grants, and monies earned from employment at the Division III level. The third topic this evening is just a simple overview of the revenue of athletics at the university level. According to the NCAA, revenue streams generated by athletics, such as ticket sales, broadcast agreements, and licensing agreements, is on the rise, while the expenses associated with athletics are rising at an even faster rate. In 2013, all but 20 universities that are part of the Football Bowl subdivision had reported expenses that exceeded their revenue for that year. Of those schools whose expenses were greater than their revenue, the athletic budgets also displayed the same trend of increasing at a rate that was faster and usually much greater than the rate of increase for the institution's budget. Outside the Football Bowl subdivision's top 20 schools, schools participating in the Football Championship subdivision were the only schools to not reflect this trend, in turn generating more revenue than was spent. Yet, it is not solely the Division I universities that have the high rate of spending. There were no Division II or Division III universities that were able to generate an amount of revenue that was greater than what was expended. Sitting here, you may be asking yourselves, so what? How does this impact you as the parent of a student athlete? How does this affect my son or daughter as a student athlete? Because of the recently observed trends in university revenues, universities must justify these ballooning costs of higher education due to subsidies to their students, the students' families, yourselves included, and the general public to keep running collegiate athletics. Those subsidies are often required to make up the difference in cost created by larger expenditures. It is important that as parents you understand that this cost comes with an immeasurable benefit that will aid in the development of your son or daughter becoming a higher quality leader and creating lifelong connections through alumni associations, while giving them experiences with a vast campus diversity, as well as exposure to vital teamwork skills, self-motivation, and a desire to aim for success, even in the face of imminent defeat in any endeavor they may undertake. It is important to remember that athletics not only allows your child to develop a healthy lifestyle, but instills a strong sense of who they are and who they may become as they enter adulthood and the workforce. The skills and experiences that these athletes have worked so tirelessly to cultivate will continue to develop as they partake in collegiate sports. The experience of athletics after high school will aid them as they enter the workforce as well-adjusted adults that are prepared to face the challenges of adulthood and a global workforce. Your continued support of the athletes and the athletic programs here at Anderson are greatly appreciated, not just by myself, but by all the coaches as well as athletes here at Anderson. I would like to thank you all again for coming tonight and allowing me to clarify some points about athletics beyond high school. Please drive safely and have a wonderful rest of your night.